Today's talk is about the Tunguska event and the ancient battles in the skies that some people seem to think are UFOs, um, having nuclear explosions in the skies. These are based on some ancient Vedic scriptures, but this becomes easily understood when you understand the depth that we hold in our research data into the Orbar wave. And from that we generated the orb fugue-like theory, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. So what I'm doing is putting this little video together just to try and explain our understanding of the Orbar wave. So the Tunguska event is, there are many theories about it. Happened in the early 1900s. Demolished acres and acres of trees and caused devastation. And I believe I have the mechanism, and not only that, it's something that I've been predicting of how mass is moved on the bar or orb. And so I'm going to try and explain to the listeners this theory, which is holds evidence basically from the witnesses of the Tunguska event, and also from some older records as well. So what I want to do is start with fireballs, and a lot of people are plasma, meteorites, or whatever they can class them as, which I believe are just basically an orb which is electrified, charged, which then picks up through its charge methanes and hydrogen, and becomes an electrified hydrogen or methane sphere as it travels through our atmosphere. The electrification process causes it to burn, and so we get these fireballs in the sky, which are mistaken for meteorites and various other things, including UFOs. And so I'm not going to labour the fact of what I understand about the Orbar wave. I hold the data for it. I understand it as best as I can, how the conversion of this energy mutates from one form to another, and I'm going to show a couple of small pieces of data in this talk, which helped us to formulate the opinion, which is shown in that little spreadsheet or flow chart. So I put together just another image of our understanding of it, and I can talk about how orbs share energy and why you'll see them in triangular shapes, even down to the craziest ideas which no one will understand, that this prana or life force gives energy to plants as well. So there's a lot going on here that takes a massive understanding of what this energy is doing. It carries energy and information. It doesn't matter whether it's gas or life force. So in the Hans Glaser woodcut we have the bars, the bars with the spheres inside them, the spheres that fall out the tail. He records his events of the spheres falling from the sky. And so what I would like to imagine is now an orb charged with static, pulling in dust, particles, gases, whatever it may be, through charge to its surface and then fall from the sky. If lightning strikes them, they become hard stones, and there are many records of stone spheres falling from the sky. And in fact, you can just do a Google search on it, and you will see, no end of articles about stone spheres falling from the sky, or sky stones, as they were known in the 18th century, before the meteorite theory came into existence, which I suggest is the major flaws in the meteorite theory. And most of what we believe are meteorites, are part of the electrification of plasma, or the plasma orb, and also the electrification of the orb and gases in the atmosphere, which then burn. So what I'm going to show you is a little video, just to help you understand firstly the orb. So what I've done is there's a photograph of a red balloon. If you imagine now this is transparent, you couldn't see it. Obviously, if you then start to it starts to increase in charge. So as an illustration of this, we put a little video together where we rub the red balloon on our head, representing the electrification of the orb. And rather than this a pile of flour now, you imagine this is gas. We can talk about methane or hydrogen, and as the orb is electrified, it will compress hydrogen or methane to its surface, and thus we have the fireball principle. The fireball principle is the electrification of the massless particle, which creates the universe, and through its electrification pulls all sorts of things into it, and that can be dust, volcanic ash, or it can be hydrogen or methane. And that is the reason why these plasma events, which a number of people talk about UFOs, have been seen increasing. And the reason why they've been on the increase is pretty simple. The oceans have left, through the global warming effect, or rather the cyclical nature of heating and cooling of our planet. I'm not a lover of carbon dioxide causing warming. In fact, there's no mechanism for that. But what we can see is methane being released from the Arctic oceans, and with the electrification of the orb, we will get an increase in fireballs or UFO anomalies. And that is what we've got. Simply the charge to the surface of the orb is concentrating these vast plumes of methane to its surface and interior, and then thus burn in the sky. So then I want to cover is the Tunguska event, and what happened. There is an account from one of the villagers, and it's very interesting. Now this is going to be hard for people to follow because they're not going to quite understand how this energy of creation works. It's very difficult because it's beyond comprehension, but it's the unseen energy that as soon as it gets charged and particles and mass stick to it, like you see with the balloon and the flower, and then certain things occur depending on what is the substance that's sticking to it. If it's a gas, then it becomes a gas ball of hydrogen. And so this account of the Tunguska event, they talk about it on the 17th of June, so it gives good detail. 9 in the morning in 1908. Some strange, bright, impossible to look at, bluish white heavenly body, which lasted for 10 minutes, moved downwards. The body appeared as a pipe or a cylinder. So this has led to many people talking about UFOs or whatever. The science world tend to dismiss this account. They're not going to come up with any answers to why it appeared as a cylinder or a pipe. I think these eyewitness accounts are genuine. I think they're nobody's gonna make up that it looked like a cylinder or a pipe. I mean, why would they? He also goes on to describe at the same time the cloud began to emit in flames. And so we have the bar, that I would call it, or the tube, which is gases charged, electrified gases charged to its surface and interior. And so what I'm going to show you now is a little video clip. It's not the greatest of clips because, again, the quality of the instruments that we were using in the research time weren't the greatest. And it was filmed in the day. Obviously you need a black backdrop. So this will mean not a great deal to people, but what you will notice is the wind is blowing, and it was a very windy day that day, blowing across the face of the stone. And what we have is a bar coming in, very, very opaque, and it converts as it hits an energy spot into an orb and returns back to a bar. Obviously now I'm going to just zoom in onto it a little bit just to give you a bit of detail of how the bar converts to the orb and then returns back to the bar and disappears from the direction that it's just come. So if this was seen in the sky, the UFOologists would have a field day. They'd say cloaking and uncloaking. So the next clip is a bar that is firing up the ground. It's extending. It's the cylinder of the Tunguska effect. And so what I've done is put a little video together. I've rubbed charge on the bar, which is represented by the balloon, and you can hear the fizzing sound of the dust attaching to its surface. Now that can equally be gas. And so what we have is a bar or cylinder with compressed gas attaching to its surface. And what I've shown here is the Hans Glaser woodcut of the bars and the orbs. So people are going to say, well, what evidence do you hold for this to have occurred throughout history? And it's in art. In fact, the name Seraphim in its original translation was a fiery serpent. So we have lost any understanding of what these things are. So in ancient art, there's 1465, a flaming girder, a bar that has hydrogen attached to its surface, And there's a piece of Renaissance art, which again is another UFO. And the caption with the painting translates something like a sort of weapon or missile rose with great noise from the earth and soared into the sky. And so we have these bars, cylinders, tubes, missiles, if you want to call them that. But this is the process of the energy of creation. The energy of creation carries energy, matter, mass around the universe. That's what it does. It becomes seen when there is enough mass and charge on it. This is how we take our photographs. And so I'll refer back to that video of the bar firing out of the floor, like it said in the records. You know, these things then catch fire if they've got methane attached to them. You know, electrified glasses. And so we have the Tunguska event. A cylinder, a burning explosion, which wipes out masses and masses of forestry in Siberia. I believe the eyewitness accounts, these cylinders are cylinders of compressed gas, an electrified gas around the massless. And so we come to another piece of ancient understanding. Ancient Indian cultures suggest that there were nuclear explosions and the gods were fighting in the sky in their spaceships. This has all been corrupted. The all-bar wave is the energy of creation, and to me the ancients were talking of these as though they were gods, the creative force or the God force. And these nuclear battles that have been so badly misunderstood have been corrupted by our lack of understanding of the process of the orb-bar wave and how the orb-bar wave carries information, mass throughout the universe. It also, as a final thought, carries consciousness as well. And so these are very, very difficult things to understand. I put together a book in 2006, finished it in 2007, or managed to publish it. If anybody is interested in having a look at the research data and the way we went about it, they're welcome to purchase it as a download. It's $3.99 in sterling. Thank you very much, everybody.